Hello and welcome. My next guest is Karen Arthur, a leadership and business coach and a speaker. Karen shares her experience to help people develop to their best selves and why she's on a mission to grow Aberdeen Blueberry Wellness to help more young people to reach a level of health and well-being through sports and exercise. Karen is on a mission to promote wellness in every community.
You're listening to Impactful Billionaires, the podcast with the UK's top award-winning social entrepreneur, Nayesh Kwatditso. Why not be part of the club transforming lives and join us on Patreon? If you would like to get in touch, email impactfulbillionaires@gmail.com. This is a For the Now media production.
So I'll start recording. I'm really grateful for you to take the time to come and talk to me. It is just really a conversation. When I said I want to stop it calling it an interview because a lot of people get anxious once I say it's an interview.
Yeah. No, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. We just start really about where you are today. What are you focusing on? Being a new year, what are you focusing on?
Yeah. So my business is I suppose in two halves. I'm a coach, an executive coach, a business coach. And I also deliver leadership and business training as well. So sort of two parts of the business. So this year, last year I did a huge amount of focus on executive coaching and managed to I suppose just move the business on a lot there. So I've got a number of individuals that I'm working with and will be working with this year. So I'm really focused this year on developing some more training and also online training as well. So that's where my focus is going to be. And also some transformational training as well. Transformational coaching for individuals as well. So maybe not around just business focused, around changes that people might want to make, within their lives and things. So that's what the focus is this year.
So do you want to also train other people to be able to do that?
No, that's not the sort of training that I do. It's more around sort of skills within a business. I deliver a really successful course which is called Step into Leadership. So those are people who have got or have had managerial experience and are then stepping into a leadership role, so a much wider role, excuse me, looking at perhaps strategy and budgets and all of those sorts of things. So, a leading role as opposed to just perhaps managing a department or a section in a business. So I do that. I also deliver other business training. I also deliver training for internal trainers, so training people how to be trainers within a business, and that's a really popular course as well. So I do quite a lot.
Sort of like train the trainer.
Train the trainer. That's exactly what it is. Exactly what it is. Yeah.
Yes.
So I do two versions of that, sort of a one-day course. So that's just for people who may well be buddying up with those new starts around them. So they've got an idea of how to work with people, how to structure a bit of training for when new people come into the business, and also a 3-day train the trainer course. So that's actually for internal trainers who will be delivering group training to people. So those are both really popular courses.
Yes. And in the middle of all this, there's yourself in terms of business. And I'm always interested in why people, what are the drivers? Why do you think you do what you do today? Was it from your background or something which you developed in your later life? Or
I guess I've always, I suppose when I was a youngster at school, I always wanted to be a teacher. That was my thought process that, even as I went through high school, my decision was always that I was going to be a teacher. It turned out it didn't quite work out that way. There was no jobs for teachers in Scotland just as I sort of left school and would have gone to university. So I did accountancy instead, which probably wasn't my best choice.
Yeah.
Not really me. Yeah, I mean, I guess I've always had the ambition to help people to develop and to learn and to grow. That's definitely
Oh,
the driving force within me, that people learn and grow and be the be
yeah.
the best that they can be at whatever it is that they're
What do you
doing.
want to do? Wow, interesting. So did
Yeah.
you run a accountancy firm or practice or?
No, I worked as an accountant for, wow, about 4 or 5 years maybe.
Yeah.
And then the business at that point where that I was involved with, they moved the accounts office from Aberdeen to Glasgow. So it didn't really work for me that much, but they offered me the opportunity to go
To go
into
there.
operations. Yeah, to go into operations and to sort of lead the management team. And that just felt like the right thing, and it just felt, as I did it and I learned more about people and more about the needs of the managers, and it just felt like that was definitely what I was meant to do. So I kind of
Oh,
fell into it really. It wasn't a great plan that I had. It just kind of happened.
yeah. Uh, and you've never looked back ever since.
No, I've done, all of the roles I've done, I think since then have all been around and about leading teams, have been around and about developing teams, developing the sort of business, so that element of business growth within it. So all of those things, really appeal to me. It's about, the business being the best it can, the people being the best that it can. Those are the sorts of things that I
Yeah. I mean,
really.
in developing teams and developing, it's such a huge impact on people's lives as you
Yeah,
develop people, and to just see people, become this leader or this manager,
yeah,
who's thriving and really at their best. It's just so rewarding, isn't it?
yeah, it absolutely is. And I truly believe that people, do it. They do it themselves. We're just that catalyst for change. We're the
Yeah, you're a
person to
facilitator, really.
yeah, we
Yeah.
just direct them down the right path, give them the right tools, the right information, the right skills, and they do it for themselves. You
Yes.
have two people follow the same path, and one will come out an exceptional manager or leader who people will follow, and the other person just won't. So it's about how people develop themselves and actually want to lead people. It's quite a skill. It's
Hmm.
still to be able to do it.
So, I mean, if the audience were listening to this or whatever, do you have any wisdom or three things someone might be saying, I'm really struggling with my management style or my leadership style, to make that impact, to make a difference in my team or myself
Yeah.
as a person, to develop myself? What would be the top three things you would advise them to do or to think about?
Yeah, I mean, I think when I work with individuals one-to-one, the things that we start to look at first of all is self-awareness is a massive part of being a leader, understanding the impact that you have on the people around you,
Yeah,
on the environment around you as well. So self-awareness, definitely. Self-confidence.
that's so important.
Yeah, absolutely. Self-confidence as well. How confident are you at delivering messages, difficult messages as well?
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
Yeah, and some people can do it in a really clumsy way, and it's not intentional, but
yeah,
but it just
you
it's
they
just
don't have the confidence to do it.
yeah. So
Oh, they've never done it.
exactly. It can be a new experience for everyone. But so self-awareness, self-confidence, and also an ability to understand those around you. When I train people to be trainers, or train the trainer, then one of the things that I teach them is to look at how people learn, to understand how people learn, and also
Yeah.
look at the behaviors that that they're displaying at that point in time. What are those things telling you? So that kind of self-awareness as well. And I suppose the key ingredient to all of that is that you have to be able to actively listen, not just hear things that are going on around you, but to actively listen and to show the empathy and all of those things. But
Yeah.
certainly self-awareness, self-confidence, and the awareness of the environment and those in it around you are for me, I think, key things for leaders to
Yes.
uh, to
Yeah.
deal with.
Yeah, it's very interesting for you to talk about actively listening. And without judgment, just listening to what also, listening about what's being said and what's actually not being said.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
you can hear
Exactly. Yeah,
what's
yeah.
what's also being said.
What are people telling you with their body language that
Younger
they're not
age,
actually
so
saying?
it's at the
Yeah,
observing
yeah.
as well.
And some people will say, yeah, I do listen, but what they don't do, they don't actively listen. They hear, and
Yeah.
they hear selectively, as we all do. We
Yes.
can all zone
There's
out
only so
things.
much information you can absorb.
Yeah, exactly. But actively listening, giving that person that one-to-one experience of just actively listening to them for a few moments, and it can just be about something that's perhaps bothering them, not sure
Mm,
how to do the next thing, not sure about something, but
mm,
actively listening and helping that person just moves everything on in a
yeah.
much more effective
Yeah.
leadership style.
Oh, that's just really important. It just is, and sometimes people just need being listened to. Actually, not sometimes it's not even support they need. They just need
Yeah,
someone to listen.
yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
and
No judgment, just listen. Yeah, sometimes we just need to listen to what people have got to say. If it's a question that's being asked, fine, you can give the answer then, or say, I'm going to get back to you, but also just listening with no judgment. If that's at all possible, then I think that, if managers can do that, then and leaders can do that, then it really helps them to be trusted by their employees as well, and trusted in the organization.
yes, that also brings up a trust. People will say, "Oh, I really trust you because she does listen to me, or he listens
Yeah,
to me when I say,
exactly,
even if I'm
exactly,
talking
exactly.
nonsense." Every child deserves a loving family, and that is why I founded Banya Fostering, an independent provider in 1996. In the past 24 years, we have grown to become one of the largest agencies in the UK. We thrive to support carers and empower children, providing opportunities for brighter futures. Have you ever thought about supporting a child that needs it most? So far, we've helped more than 7,000 children in our care.
And empathy is such a key skill as well for leaders. I think the days of your manager or your leader being, this sort of person that was unapproachable and didn't really show empathy to their employees, those days are gone. People want and need that kind of empathy, the active listening, the supportive, motivational leaders in their organizations for them to be their best.
Yes.
If you've got someone who's stopping that from happening because of their behaviors, the leader's behavior, then it does make it very difficult for people to to be their best in the workplace.
Of course, it does. It really just makes it
Yeah,
really difficult for everybody
yeah,
around. And yes, the empathy is a big one, which, in terms of corporate behavior, empathy was almost like a taboo.
I agree. I absolutely agree.
Organizations are learning to be more caring, more warmth,
Yes, yes,
listening, and
yeah,
they need to also not just the employees, which is a huge, huge stakeholder, but
yeah,
employees were never considered to be stakeholders.
yeah,
Not I mean,
yeah.
the stakeholders were the people who invested in it. Or, you know what I
Sure.
mean?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. And I mean, I think even more than that, employees are assets of the organization,
Yeah,
aren't
then
they?
that's it.
They're
Absolutely that's it.
without the employees,
You don't have a business.
exactly, it doesn't all fit together. And so
Yeah.
they're key assets of the business. So if it was, a really expensive piece of kit you'd put in, you'd make sure you would look after it, it would be serviced, it would be all of those things. So why would we do a similar care package around our employees? Why wouldn't we make sure that they were, felt safe, felt looked after, all of those things? Why wouldn't we do that?
Yes. But I mean, if you look at a business in terms of investment, that's the biggest expenditure, wages, people's
Of course,
wages and
of course,
their packages. So
of
why
course.
can't you nurture that? Why
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
you're
yeah,
investing in
absolutely.
that? You've got to
Yeah,
nurture them, empower them, and thrive. They've got to thrive. They don't have to
absolutely,
survive.
absolutely,
They've got to
absolutely.
thrive
And
within.
I do believe that if people, nowadays in particular, I think that if employees feel that they're not getting what they need out of a business, and that could be the empathy, the active listening, the motivation, all of those sorts of things. If they're not getting it, then they will, they'll just vote with their feet and go
Yeah, they will,
and the actual impact cost on the business.
retention. Oh, it's
Yeah,
terrible.
absolutely. It's a huge cost to businesses. Not only do they have to go through the recruitment process, so there's all of that, but they've also lost all of the investment in that individual. They've lost
They've put in a person, yeah,
the
they walk
skills, the
away.
brain drain out of their business. It all
Yeah,
goes. It takes months to build that up again. Even if you take someone in with similar skills,
yeah, it's
every
not the same.
every
You've got to
business,
invest again,
yeah.
invest them, invest your time.
And
Yeah,
every business has its own culture. So no matter if somebody over here can come in and fill that person's place because they've got the skill set, they
no,
still need to understand the culture and how it all fits together within a
yeah,
business. So the
yeah,
actual impact of losing employees to employers is huge. It's
yeah,
absolutely huge, and it's got a long-term effect, months of effect,
yeah.
if not a year or
Mm.
2 years.
Yes, definitely. I definitely agree with that. It's
Mhm.
yes, it does take. Oh, it's so expensive anyway. You're having members of staff recruiting and
Yeah,
inducting, and then
yeah, yeah,
2 days later they leave.
yeah.
It's just
Hard
so.
work,
Yes.
hard work. And I
Mm.
think sometimes, employers and organizations need to look internally for that. What's the issue there? What is it that's that people feel they have to walk away from,
Yes.
as opposed
What?
to,
Yes.
yeah, as opposed to, what attracted them there in the first place. And it's generally the job. And the thing that they walk away from is the managers, the management, and the
Yes.
and the culture. That's what they walk away from. It's
Yeah.
not the job, because
No.
the job, they knew it from the job description when they first attended the
Yes.
first
Yes.
meeting. So,
And we you made an agreement that we think we can fit. You know what I mean? It wasn't the job.
sure.
Just
Yeah, yeah. No,
the
they walk away from something else, which is
yeah.
generally around the way they've been managed, or perhaps unfairness in the business, or
Yeah.
perhaps, yeah, just the environment, the culture that's within
Yeah.
the
Yes.
organization.
Yes. Definitely. Definitely. So
Mhm.
yes, it's really um really crucial tips there you shared there. And about about this whole issue about the organization also needs to learn,
Yeah,
people coming and going. What could we
yeah,
have done better? How
yeah,
could we
yeah,
induct people, support people into the learn about our culture better as well? Because that could be another thing. Sometimes it actually breaks down quite early on
it
around
does. Yeah.
support in the induction process.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
absolutely. And I think, we, as organizations, many organizations have become quite adept at doing exit interviews. So as people leave, they'll do an interview,
yes.
and they'll tick the boxes, and it ticks an HR box that there's been uh, an exit interview done. But
Mm.
actually, that needs drilled into it. It really needs, a level of understanding as to what's going on, who's conducted the exit interview.
Yeah.
If it's the manager,
Yeah, the same manager they had problems. It could
yeah,
be the same one
yeah.
they had problems with.
It's possibly not a true reflection of what was going on there.
Yeah,
If it's HR, again, people can be a bit intimidated by that. It's much
yeah,
better, in
yeah.
my experience, where I've seen that work really well is if it's a trusted colleague that will do it, and someone that the business trusts, and that the individual trusts as well, that they can be open and honest during their exit interview. It really gives the organization proper and detailed data to look at to understand where the problems are, because it's such a huge cost to organizations nowadays that they really need to understand that and want to keep people as long as possible, and create opportunities for them so that they can stay within the business and keep that skills.
Yes. Yes, it definitely is. Yeah, I'd never thought about that, about a trusted colleague, because I think you get better results.
I
And
truly believe
yes,
that.
especially if it's somebody,
Yeah.
if the reason why they're leaving might be to do with that manager, they're not the
Yeah.
right person to do the interview.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And
Yes.
I think it's fair to ask the employee, we would like you to take part in an exit interview. Do you have anyone that you would like to conduct that interview for you?
Yeah.
So giving them the option, and if it's a person they've sat beside, the whole time that they've been there, and they go out with them on a Saturday night, that's probably not the right person. But if it's someone that the organization feels like, we will get a true reflection of what's going on there, and also that the person themselves feel that it's somebody they could be honest with, and perhaps somebody that's not directly involved in the management of that person or that department as well, which definitely helps. And I believe that the data is much cleaner as well, and organizations are able to do a lot more root cause analysis, when they've got that sort of clean data as to what's actually happening, what is it to be better.
Yes, and it's good to have this critical feedback, because that's another thing. Organizations shy away from critical feedback. I even talk about complaints. A complaint is really good,
A gift. It is a gift.
If someone has bothered to complain about your services, it's absolutely, I never thought of it.
Absolutely.
It's a good thing. And everyone always look at me thinking I'm completely crazy, because I said they were brave enough to say it. They took their time to send it or to whatever, post it to us. And we need to look at it. Even if it's made anonymously, we name it, or without good intention, but we need to listen to it. And some of it is quite hard, and we are quite quick to want to answer it. And just sometimes you just need to sleep over it and say, what are they trying to tell me about my organization?
Absolutely. And I think that it is a gift, and I believe that it gives you the opportunity to look from a reflective position as to what is it that this person has found that didn't work for them in the organization, or interacted with the organization. What is it? Is there something that we can fix? Is it something that we can't fix? In which case you need to be accepting of that, and perhaps pass that information
most of the time, there's something you can do.
Of course there is. There's always something that can happen that's going to make it better. And I believe that, feedback from customers, from staff, from, they're always,
so important.
it is so important. And sometimes, I've facilitated a number of workshops for employees to give feedback to their employers. And sometimes there is just nothing that is, it's just physically not possible at that time to do what the employees are asking. But they do feel listened to, because I will go back to them and respond and say, or the employers will go back to them and respond by saying, it's a great idea, or perhaps it doesn't work for us at this time, and this is the reason why. So it's not a case of that they've not been listened to. And generally, people, there is an understanding of that. It could have been a great idea, but it doesn't work for the organization at that time. Other things that, I will advise my, the organizations that I'm working for, I'll advise them, this is a quick win for both sides. You should jump on this and do this, because the employees really want it. You can make it happen. Let's do it. you know, because this is a quick win for everyone. It gives everyone a bit of a feel-good factor. The employee
yeah,
listen to,
yeah,
the
yeah,
employer feel like
yeah,
they've made a bit of an engagement
yes, yes,
there with the employee. So there are things that can definitely be done, things that are longer term and are in the future, or sometimes things just can't be done.
yeah.
And it's the same with, you know, if it's something that a stakeholder's given you, again, it might be something that you can do straight away in the future or not at all.
Some of it is it's so simple actually.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
another thing, the resistance is sometimes with employers is that they think, oh, that it's gonna require money.
Yes.
And
Yes.
sometimes it's nothing to do with money at all.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not to do with money. A lot of the time it's to do with being valued, and
Yes.
it doesn't always carry a pounds with it or a price tag with it. You know, it's being valued, and you know, if an employee's putting forward, or a group of employees putting forward something that will make them feel valued, why would you not listen? You know, it doesn't make any sense that you.
Yes, that's definitely, but that's the difference is true. Oh, thank you very much for your time.